They say the Oyo Empire could hold its breath. On the night everything changed, it did. The sun was sinking behind the walls of Oyo, staining the sky a deep crimson, as if the heavens themselves foresaw what was coming. Dust curled behind galloping horses. Smoke drifted from far-off farms, and high above the city, a young warrior named Aderoju stood alone on a watchtower, sensing something no one else could feel. The royal drums, the ones that spoke for kings and steadied the hearts of warriors, were silent. Yet, Aderoju felt them trembling, as though grief itself was trapped within their wooden chests. A messenger arrived breathless, collapsing at the gate. "The horsemen," he gasped. "They are close." But the elders only exchanged weary glances. "A kingdom never falls in a single night," they murmured. Within the palace, shadows stretched long across the stone floor. The Alaafin, old, proud, yet tired, listened as chiefs argued like thunder rumbling in the distance. Aderoju watched from behind the column, with his heart pounding. Corruption had grown like rot beneath the empire's throne. Generals despised one another. Provinces rebelled. The treasury was emptied, and even the gods had grown quiet. Finally, the Alaafin rose. His hands trembled, but his spirit did not. "If Oyo must fall," he whispered, his voice heavy as iron, "then let it fall with dignity." The drums answered with a low and uneasy hum, the sound of a future cracking open. The moon had barely climbed into the sky when they arrived. The Fulani cavalry surged across the plains like a black wave, torches blazing behind them until the horizon glowed like a second sunset. Oyo's warriors rushed to the walls. Aderoju stood among them, gripping his weapon so tightly it shook. When the first hoof struck the gate, the city shuddered. When the first touch hit the roofs, the night burst into flame. And when the battle began, it sounded like the sky itself was breaking. Aderoju was thrown to the ground, the world spinning through aching eyes. He saw the palace burn and heard a sound he will never forget. The royal drums snapped, a scream of wood and spirit, the cry of a world collapsing. And somewhere within the inferno, the Alaafin performed the old rite, choosing to walk into the realm of the ancestors rather than kneel before another man. When dawn finally came, Oyo was no longer a city. It was smoke rising from ruins. It was footsteps of survivors, mothers, warriors, priests, carrying children. Aderoju stood on a hill, bruised and bloodied, staring at everything he had known, turning to ash. But in the quiet, he felt something else. Oyo was not dead. Oyo was simply transformed. The people carried it with them in their songs, in their pride, in the rhythm of drums that refused to stay silent. The elders would later say, Òyó kú, ó dàgbà sí, meaning Òyó did not die, it simply grew into something greater. Adérójú knelt in the grass, picked up the broken strap of the royal drum and tied it around his wrist as a promise, a memory, a heartbeat. They say if you visit the ruins at dusk, when the wind coils through the stones and the light softens into gold, you may hear something drifting across the plains. Not the drum that shattered, but the echo of the drum that refused to disappear. The spirit of an empire that still remembers its name.